In her book, A Stolen Life, Jaycee Dugard has a quote from T.S. Eliot about people who carry the light of hope in the world, who hold it close and wait wherever the journey takes them. We want to thank all of you who've gathered to watch her story. Some of it is harrowing. Some of it will make you simply outraged, especially when you see the times law enforcement could have saved her and did not. And at the predators who defy understanding. But in the end, Jaycee Dugard would find a way to save herself with a light no one could extinguish, holding on to hope, a mother who would never let go, and some caring and observant strangers who would make it possible one day for her to call her mother and say, "I am alive. I'm coming home."
She was a little girl with a name right out of a storybook, Jaycee Lee Dugard, age 11 years old.
Hello.
A girl who loved her mom, her little sister, a cat named Monkey, and school and books and stories, and by holding on to the memory of everything she loved, survived and would triumph after a battle in a monstrous backyard, where a convicted sex offender let out of prison, Philip Garrido, and his wife Nancy, kidnapped her, handcuffed her, imprisoned her, had her give birth outside. And over again, the justice system would fail her. For 18 years, she was forbidden to say her own name, so this is how her book, A Stolen Life, begins.
Let's get one thing straight. My name is Jaycee Lee Dugard. I was kidnapped by a stranger at age 11, and I want Philip Garrido to know that I no longer have to keep his secret. I was happy.
She is 31 years old. She looks impossibly young.
I know, I was worried about should I wear heels?
She is also someone who laughs a lot and has delight in ordinary things on ordinary days.
Oh
You
my
drive.
God, I do drive. I drive very safely.
You would never know what she survived,
Oh, my pine cone?
unless you notice how her
Well,
face changes when she speaks of the past. And the charm around her neck, it's a pine cone.
Back then, it was the last thing I touched. You know, the last grip on me. Now it's a symbol of hope and new beginnings, and that there is life after something tragic.
And tonight, she says this is what she wants to do. She will not speak of every detail she has written in her book, but lessons of hope and survival, and what it meant to her to have a mother who would never let go. It is June 10th, 1991. Jaycee Dugard wakes up in this house in Lake Tahoe, California, where her family's moved because it's a safe place to live. She's in the 5th grade and remembers worrying about the field trip coming up because she's so shy. Remembers dressing in her favorite all-pink outfit. And she remembers the mom she absolutely adores had to leave early for her work as a typesetter at a print house and didn't keep a promise.
She said that she'd give me a kiss goodbye. She didn't. I wasn't mad. I just, thought I'd catch her when I got home, tell her, you got to give me a kiss next time,
She also remembers there was something she had wanted to ask her mom.
I wanted to ask my mom if I could shave for the field trip.
Shave your legs?
Yeah.
Big question
Didn't want to be
for her.
embarrassed. Yeah. Didn't want to be embarrassed. So that was the big question on my mind.
She walks up the hill from the house to catch the school bus, the way her mother taught her, looking out for traffic.
Walked up the side of the hill. That was the safe way to go against traffic. And halfway up, my world changed in an instant. I thought, oh, somebody's looking for directions.
A gray car pulls up. A man rolls down the window.
Because what else would it be? And his hand shoots out, and I just feel numb. My whole body is tingly. I don't know what it's from. I fall back in the bushes.
She had been paralyzed by a stun gun.
I lost control of my bladder. I wasn't even embarrassed. No time to be embarrassed.
On the ground, the sharp edges of a pine cone are the last things she touches before she comes to, face down, on the floor in the back seat of a car.
I remember my throat felt very dry and scratchy and like I had been screaming, but I don't remember screaming.
The man behind the wheel is Philip Garrido, a convicted sex offender, supposedly monitored by parole officers and doctors. Holding her down on the floor is his wife, Nancy. The district attorney believes Nancy scouted this little girl for her husband as a prize.
Did they say anything? Did you hear anything?
No, not at first. After we were driving for a while, I heard the driver say, "I can't believe we got away with it." And he started laughing. I think I blacked out again or something. It was like the most horrible moment of your life times 10.
120 miles later, the car stops in front of this house on a neighborhood street. Garrido tells her to be quiet.
I said, I think it's probably one of the only things I said was, my family doesn't have a lot of money, they can't pay the ransom. That's what I kidnap as ransom, right? Yeah. No. Not always.
He is 40 years old, 6 feet 4 inches tall. She is 11, 4 feet 6, 80 pounds. He takes away the pink clothes she dressed in that morning. The only thing she has left is a little ring shaped like a butterfly. She will hide from him for 18 years. Blanket over her head, he walks her through a small area of grass toward a fence where an opening is concealed by a tarp. And hidden behind the fence, a deranged collection of sheds and storage units, which the people monitoring Garrido would not search. One of them, tiny, completely soundproof. He leads her inside and takes out handcuffs.
He said that they were the fuzzy kind, so they wouldn't hurt as bad. Whatever.
Behind your back?
Yeah. There was a pallet on the floor, and then he said he'd be back later. And he shut the studio or the soundproof door and then the other door with the lock.
You heard that
lock? Yeah. I can still hear it consciously or when I'm awake. Just some sounds and smells and this don't leave you.
He warns her there are dogs outside, Dobermans. They'll attack if she tries to escape. She notices there's one window covered with bars and a towel. He leaves.
At one point, you write, you get up and you take your teeth and you pull a towel off.
I wanted to see where I was. Yeah. I couldn't use my hands. And there was just weeds and some kind of fence.
Naked, in handcuffs, she drifts in and out of sleep.
Crying?
I didn't really want to because then you can't wipe them away. Then you get all sticky and, that sounds awful, but, I tried not to cry because I couldn't wipe them away or, and then they get itchy and...
At one point, she made a note to remember the sound of the train so it would help her mom find her.
And then later it was just listening to lawnmowers and airplanes, anything for human contact, I guess. I was so lonely. I felt so alone.
Have you seen Jaycee Lee Dugard?
And 120 miles away, the mother who loves her and will never give up goes on television to make her first plea.
This pretty, young, innocent child.
Friends have been searching all day and evening.
Police started searching the neighborhood.
Police set up a roadblock and go door to door. Her classmates are out in the streets holding up signs.
And it's time that she comes home.
And she has written that all alone that night, she decided to cling to something that would sustain her. There is moonlight streaming through the towel. It makes her think of her mother.
We would always sit on the porch and we would debate whether the full moon or the crescent moon was the better moon. I always liked the full moon and she liked the crescent. And just always made me think of her.
Do you remember the song you and your mom sang? Looking at the moon?
You are the moon. How does it go? I forget.
I love the moon and the moon
sees me. I see the moon and the moon sees me. God bless the moon and God bless me.